Not quite as ready to do this stream as I thought I was. Oh, Wells. Jesus, why do I have a fucking echo in my head? This is so weird. Shit, I'll just do this. I don't think I'll get dinged for this one. Here's, oh, this is why.
Turn it. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, just checking the mic here. All right, this is coming to the end of the song. If anybody's interested in that song, feel free to ask me any questions about it. Okay, guys, so what we're doing today is we're going to run a unscheduled short stream here. because there is some debate in the chat room I frequent called 2WayStreetPolitics that is on PalTalk Messenger. Feel free to download that and join in the conversation if you ever come across it. You son of a bitch. Thank you for reconnecting OBS, you piece of shit. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the conversation going there. Oh, crap. I've got to add that on so y'all can hear it. Give me just a second. 1 second here. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I'll just talk over why the hell's going on over there. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. 1 second. We are getting there. Is it this one? Yes, I believe so. Oh, shit. Why the fuck didn't you come up? I am so sorry. I am trying to get it there. I'll put audio capture. Okay. I don't know why it's not. Why the fuck aren't you coming up there? This is pissing me off. Try a different one. I just recently figured out how to get audio in there, but Jesus Christ, if this is not doing it. Damn it. Why is it not doing it? I might not be able to do this shit. This is fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. I may have to just switch and do some other switching. Okay. Let's see.
They're going to destroy themselves or they'll be destroyed, and they know that. In other words, that their little nuclear weapons have got. What the hell are they going to? Who are they going to hurt with them? Japan, South Korea, China. What the hell? That's like signing your own damn death warrant. So, like I say, I hope that peace comes about, but it's not going to be overnight. There's going to be a lot of damn starts and stops along the way. Hell, they got people in South Korea already packing their bags, going to go visit their families, they think. It's not going to be that simple. Because if they open the borders up, the DMZ, for example, if they open the borders up, there's going to be a mass exodus. And everybody knows that. There's going to be a mass exodus out of North Korea. That's just a fact. And that can't happen either, because what the hell will you do with all these people if they had a mass exodus? Mike's free.
It's funny to see the liberal Trump haters talking about God. It's funny shit. I don't expect Kim to have a change of heart. And I really don't expect any kind of a despot that is so dark that he would just let his people starve to death to come to any rational, to be a rational world leader. I don't see that happening. But really, I mean, when you look at it, Trump has accomplished more to come than any of our leaders for the last 50 years. I mean, at least they're talking. I mean, what happened before with Democrats? Would they just fucking hand them money and food? Oh, here, well, let us appease you. Here, let us, that didn't fucking work. It never does work. Stupid. The other thing, JB, is you said, when have you ever been in here spewing hate? And I'll say this to all the Democrats and liberals in this room. Lying is the worst form of hate. It is pure, utter evil. And JB, I have heard you in this room lie about capitalism, lie about unions, lie about Walmart, and yeah, you spew a lot of hate. Yeah. Go ahead, Mop.
Okay, so domestically, what do we have? Like, we're down to like almost 4% unemployment. GDP rising at a faster rate than under Obama. Healthy, almost 3%. And now it looks like he's about to have his first coup, his first major foreign policy coup in Korea. It just doesn't get any better than this. These Trump haters, these angry, insecure Trump haters are shitting their pants. Just look at them in the room. They can't stand it. This is driving them nuts. It's great. Go ahead, user.
Dr. Mike, maybe. I don't expect that there's going to be an overnight success in Korea. I expected this is just a stall tactic for little Kimmy. I expect it's nothing more than his way of getting some appeasement. I doubt very much anyone's really going to step in because they don't trust him yet. It's going to be a while. But if it does happen, there's going to be some business opportunities here. It may not be for us, but I suspect that the Chinese will have a way in, maybe South Koreans. We might get a little piece of that, if we got the balls to try it, to invest in it. I don't think little Kimmy's going to give up on his nuclear armament. It might slow him down. He might do it much more quietly with a lot less fanfare. But nothing is really going to change, not in the short term. We're talking years here, years.
Okay. Well, I was kind of reading the text and I was getting some stuff set up. Well, Underdog, if you mentioned it on the mic, I don't know that you did because I had the room muted for a moment. If not Trump, then who the fuck does deserve credit for the for potential peace between North and South Korea? Well, it doesn't fucking matter what you think. Let's look at some news that came out today. All right. On Friday, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in came together for a historic meeting that resulted in one unimaginable pledge. The two nations will work to officially end the Korean War and denuclearize the peninsula. Who deserves credit for this momentous meeting and the push toward peace? Donald Trump, says South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa. Yeah, I think I will go with the South Korean Foreign Minister on this one. Because I'm pretty sure he's a bit more in the know than some dumb shit pal chatter.
Trump doesn't take credit for it.
Some dumb shit.
Well, Trump doesn't take credit.
Can I finish?
Trump doesn't take credit.
Can I finish?
And he doesn't deserve
credit. Can I
finish?
Listen to hate coming out of the low IQ Negroes.
Trump doesn't take credit.
Can I finish? It doesn't matter.
Trump's
not trying to take credit for it, you dumb motherfucker, but you keep trying to say that he is.
They're trying to give him credit in here.
Well, who
Moses
cares?
said Trump accomplished.
Who cares? Who's a better authority in this shit?
Trump didn't accomplish anything.
Who is a better
he had nothing
authority
to do with
on this? A bunch of pal chatters, a bunch of freaking tweeters, or the South Korean foreign minister? Who's going to be in the fucking know between you dumb sons of bitches and the South Korean foreign minister? Yeah, that's what I thought. You are one dumb motherfucker. So, since you don't think Trump gets the credit, then, Underdog, who does get the credit?
Underdog doesn't even understand your logic. He doesn't even understand what the logic of what you're saying.
No,
there.
I just want him to fucking answer.
Stupid.
Hold on, Bomb. I just want him to fucking answer, then, who the hell he thinks does deserve credit for it. He's not going to fucking answer that.
Obama's rectum is what he thinks.
Rex Tillerson. Rex Tillerson was making a deal and Trump fired him, right? Underdog. The thing is I don't understand. Like, we didn't want Obama to fail because what happens if Obama fails? That's like taking your fucking fist and doubling it up and punching yourself as hard as you can in the fucking face, okay? And that's what happened when Obama was president. He failed and we got punched in the face. People were hurt. People lost their businesses. People lost their fucking homes. It was horrible what happened. If we hadn't had a president during his time, the economy would have been much better than it was. And so what is it that motivates them at this point in time to see Trump fail? Is it just a matter of is it like childish revenge? They just don't want him to, because Obama didn't win. They don't want Trump to win. What the fuck is it? I mean, what kind of simpleton fucking thought is going through their minds that they want Trump to fail and America to fail? What is it about you, underdog? Is it like you really want to get back, you want to be put back picking cotton? Is that your goal? Go ahead.
I see Hybe's hand up.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Like I say, we had the collapse of the East and West Germany, and we had a collapse of the wall there in a very rapid fashion. But we're talking about a different animal now. We're talking about a country that's got a mindset back in the 50s, and that's exactly where the hell the mindset of the North Koreans are, and they propagandized and they brainwashed people to the nth degree up there. Well, hell, even their body structures have changed due to their malnutrition and stuff in that country. So, like I say, it's not the same as it would be trying to reunite East and West Germany, which the only thing they basically had in common at that time was a common language. And believe it or not, North and South Korea don't even have a common language anymore. It's Korean, but they're not the same. Anybody that's been over there knows that there's a distinct difference between how they talk. Mike's free. So we got a long way to go with this thing. I hope it's for the good. I really do. But we are a long damn way from that country ever being put together and made whole again. Won't see it in our lifetimes. You can call it
an accent. Let's call an accent. It's not called a different language.
Underdog was involved at very hard to try to assimilate a North Korean refugee into the southern society. They were raised under a different structure. They don't talk the same. They don't think the same. They're unable of taking care of themselves for at least 2 or 3 years after they even get to the South. You ought to know that. Mike's free.
Yes, yeah, you've told him twice. He ought to know that by now, but I don't think he does. I think it's going to be interesting.
But you're mired in the past, underdog. That's your problem on everything. You're mired in the past, so you can't take advantage of the future. Just keep your ass back in the past. Mike's free.
Well, on what I had said, that's really
this. I just listened to these two go back and forth. I'm not going to put up with you doing it.
And here we have Negroes 150 years later, and they still.
Like I said, I'm not going to put up with you doing it also. I have the mic.
Well, look, dumb fuck. I just wanted to answer what he said. Fuck you.
I know. They've all been answering what he said.
He
has answered what he said.
I don't dot anybody.
This is where it turns into a
I don't dot
fucking
anybody.
You can get the admins going at each other.
You run around dotting people for what?
Fine. Call me names and then get the fuck out of the way.
You jump in and make comments.
All the names and get out off the mic. Are you done now with your name calling, or you want to come up and call more names?
Don't be such a dumb, senile fuck.
I'm going to. It's more fun. I get to be one like you. I just listened to Ivy back. I leave a lot of space, and then you jump in, and I decided I wasn't going to put up with it anymore. I was done with it. That's the way it works. Get back in line if you have more to say. Now, I just wanted to add it's going to be interesting to see who is going to... You've had the time. Okay, I'm going to give you another 30 seconds for name calling. Go ahead. Fill in the blanks. Get it out of your system. Use your time nicely. Make the most of it.
Jesus, man, they fucking old man acting like dipshits.
Time nicely, and you dotted me, idiot.
Okay, now your time is up. I want to say, I think it is going to be interesting to see who does win the Nobel Prize. We're talking about Trump, but if he doesn't, who would? Won't that be interesting? And I'm repeating myself about how the media is going to handle things, because it's going to be the same way here. And they're going to have to credit or discredit the accomplishment. Now, I wanted you to hear, I'm not going to play it now because I waste all that time with Lib. But I played it earlier. Trump in 1990.
It wasn't his fault. He was just trying to use the mic.
I know it. Do you think I didn't know that? I got to have somebody come and tell me he was trying to use the mic. Isn't it an amazing world here? Welcome to the technology.
You're the one that wanted to talk about it again.
Well, Jesus Christ, if you admins could stop going at each other so us fucking mundanes can have a turn at the mic, that would be great. Yeah, I think I still had a turn at the mic.
Actually, I was ahead of you.
No, you weren't. You were not, user. I was ahead of you, and I was waiting for the two dipshit admins to stop fucking going at each other.
Go, for Christ's sake.
I can't go because people won't fucking stand down to let people go. No, not actually.
I was behind IB.
No, you
and
fucking
then it
weren't.
was you, and I made the mistake of telling IB that it was his turn, which then put me behind you. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've been moving for the room because the fucking admins are a bunch of pussies.
Come on, you got something?
Yeah. I'll go as soon as I can get a fucking dot off my ass. How about that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because nobody can fucking take any kind of criticism apparently. Anyway, look, here's the deal with the deal. Of course, Underdog still has not answered who the fuck deserves credit over this fucking thing. Look, like it or not, Underdog, when the president in office gets the credit, that's just the fucking way it goes. I know you still want to give Obama credit for a good economy, even though he's not sitting at the fucking chair, but that's just not how it fucking works. Jesus Christ. Who deserves credit for this momentum meeting at the push toward peace? Donald Trump says, again, South Korean Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-wha, now, are you going to refute him? Are you going to say that he's wrong because he's not in the fucking know? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. The two men that shook hands? Well, that took a lot of fucking diplomacy. Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you this, Underdog. If you ask most political experts who are actually bipartisan or not partisan at all, they'll tell you that fucking Donald Trump's saber rattling had a lot more to do with it. Go ahead. I guess nobody's gonna go next. I didn't meet the room.
Liberal,
you know what's coming?
Liberal, it's your mic, and then IB, I think, of Moses.
What's going to be interesting is to see what happens when Trump does have his meeting. If it holds up, and he does have his meeting with the North Koreans, and we're going to see what we're going to learn a lot by that meeting. Is Trump going to come home with the 3 Americans being held up there right now, or is he not?
That's a good question.
And I guess my question would be to any of these people that, for whatever reason, they're just not going to give Trump success at anything at any cost. I don't give a damn what it is. Is Trump going to get any success given to him if he does go up and have a meeting and brings home the three people being hailed for trumped up charges in North Korea? Are you going to give him any credit then, or are you going to come up with some more silly ass excuses for why he didn't do it? Mike's free.
Somebody put in the text that they were supposed to.
If somebody gets on the mic and butts in on a 3-way mic, if they just have a little interjection, that's one thing. But when they get on the mic and you go on and on and on, that's another thing. Some admins can't seem to figure that out. That's why you have a 3-way mic. And I don't really understand at risk what you're talking about. I mean, does it really matter if Trump doesn't have any morals? He's not your preacher. He's not your pope. Has he done something immoral that's affected the trajectory of the United States?
This is kind of an interesting point. At risk is, gosh, I guess I'll unignore him. At risk is one of the regular chatters in this room, and he claims to be a Republican. And as most people would probably agree, that Republicans tend to be a bit on the conservative side. Not all of them are hard conservatives, because they aren't. It's been evidenced. But this guy has really been saying some dumb shit since Donald Trump became president. Oh, shit. Screaming kid in the background. Just what I need. Fuck, I need my own place to stay. Hopefully that'll be happening soon. Anyway, so his big thing with Donald Trump has been, Donald Trump is amoral. Well, you know, I think most of us who voted for Donald Trump understood early on that he is not a very moral person. I think we've understood that. But that's not why we voted him in. So anyway, he's whether or not Donald Trump is moral and whether or not his morality has anything to do with possible peace in the Koreas has absolutely nothing to fucking do with anything. Jesus Christ. Excuse me, Lord. I took your name in vain.
That's the reason I'm explaining it to you. Now, I'm not going to play this again because I've taken too much time. So I see IB and only IB. Now I see IB and Hufeng. Okay.
Oh, still some questions.
So I'm an atheist, and I think I'm moral.
Well, you know, possibly so. I can say that, but for the vast majority of Americans, the morals are taught in their religion, and you do know that. You know, that's just
the fact that he's atheist doesn't mean he didn't get his morals from religion.
From being a secular nation, Mike's free.
Yeah, but just real quick, the fact that you have morals doesn't mean that it's not based on religion or didn't come from religion. You can be an atheist and have Christian morals. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. But again, I'm just you know, fuck. If this piece really happens, this will be amazing because I can't think of a time where any Democrat president has ever brokered peace out of the result of some military action. I can't think of a time where a Democrat president has ever done that. But we have had at least one example of a Republican president garnering peace without actual military action, without the use of it. And who wants to take a guess at who that might be? Yeah, that's right. It's Ronald Reagan. So we may have a second Republican president here who has helped to garner peace. George H.W. Bush? Maybe. I can't remember what the fuck he did. It must not have been very eventful, but fuck the Berlin Wall coming down. Actually, that was... no, you're right, Risk. That did happen under Bush, but it had startings in Reagan. I mean, the Soviet Union was pretty much fucking done before Reagan left office, and George H.W. Bush got to reap the rewards of it. So yes, I will stick by that. Thank you for the correction. That George H.W. Bush does get the credit for that because he was president. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got no problem with correcting that. But his, going to Trump's morals, I'm sorry, Risk, his morals have absolutely fucking nothing to do with what's going on in North Korea. And regardless of whether or not he is an immoral president, he is still capable of being the centerpiece of a peace deal between two countries that have been ununified for 60-something years. So, we're not talking. Yeah, no shit. Really, nothing's happened? So I just wasn't saying if this happens, right? I made language that made it predetermined that it definitely was going to happen. Jesus Christ, fucking listen to people. Go, Moses.
I wanted to again talk about Trump and Korea, but we've moved on to morals now, I guess. I think the advantage of spiritual morals is that you have some accountability. Simply announcing that you're a moral person, you have no accountability. You very well may be. I don't think a spiritual belief is necessary in order to be moral. That isn't the point so much. But y'all handle it whichever way suits you best, I guess. It goes back to our beginnings, though, and kind of, we're really a pretty amazing country at one time. And people, even in those days, reflected, how could that be?
All right. So, real quick, At Risk put up a snarky remark. If shit was as heavy as gold, he doesn't really speak that manly. He hardly ever gets on the mic anymore. Well, anyway, this is the reply I'm sending him. Well, Risk, you're an alchemist in your own delusional mind, so your shit is always gold. Not that funny, but, you know, it's a jab.
I agree. We're still, but I don't think we're on that uphill swing we were on. I think we've let the lack of morals, and I think we're experiencing that, a lack of morals, to affect how the country operates. It may be what the people want. That is the beauty of this, our situation with our Constitution. There's nothing in there about you in that Constitution. Nothing in there says you have to be a moral person. The founders suggested that it was really suited best for a moral person, but that was because we assumed everybody wanted to be free.
Jesus
we have
Christ.
Young people now who are not that interested in being free. In fact, they just sort of take it for granted and think there's other benefits. They don't realize they're giving up a lot. But they will. They'll come to grips with it eventually. One just hopes they at least do it before they're 30. IB and then liberal.
Well, I'm going to say all I'm going to say. I hope that this thing is successful in North Korea. It's a hell of a long way from a done deal. You know, first off, there's no guarantee that the old hierarchy, so to speak, in North Korea was even going to accept what the hell the rocket boy has done up there. That's just a fact of life. It's the way the country's just put together, and it's how it's always been. So we'll wait and see. The problem that they have is they don't have any Kims to put in charge of it anymore, and that whole country is designed around having a Kim to put back into place. But the last viable Kim they had, who didn't want the damn job, it seems the boy assassinated him there in other countries. So anyway, it's going to be a different world that we live in. Mike's for.
Well, here's the problem with Democrat morals. Obama and Clinton were both staunch anti-gay marriage.
Gun laws?
Okay.
What gun laws?
And then one day they woke up and they weren't. That's just not how it works. You know, morals have some basis in something, some historical context. So
what do you guys think of PalTalk so far?
That mankind has come to a conclusion over thousands of years that certain things were good to do a certain way. That doesn't work. Tomorrow liberals could wake up and telling us, and I expect this pretty soon, that bestiality is just fine. It's beautiful, and you can marry your dog. It's going to happen. Go ahead, Moses.
Well, regarding Korea, what Ivy said, it's really just the infant phases of it. But it reminds me of an expression. I always thought it was German, but I've never been able to verify. But anyway, it basically goes, a job begun is half done. And there's a lot of wisdom in that, I think. And then discussing morals, and then it went to homosexuality. I don't know. I don't think homosexuality is not a matter of morals. It's very, very convenient. I mean, but it's, oh well. That's it. That's what I'm saying, IB. That's where that expression comes from, and I don't think you can take it literally. But a job begun is half done. Sometimes I find that little jobs around the house. Sometimes just getting ready in the mood, getting the ladder, get the brush, whatever. Just the fact you started, hell, you're almost done. Hoofum.
Thanks a lot. This idea that nobody can either type in the text or come into the microphone and make some kind of predictions on what's going on is really laughable, especially when you consider who the people are that are trying to poo-poo on your speculations. Yeah. But that's okay, Risk. You know what, dude? I don't know why you felt you had to pick apart me saying if. Yeah, no shit. I know I said if. I acknowledged I said if. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. But Jesus Christ, dude, you are lacking in arguments so badly that you have to fucking nitpick stupid shit like that. Oh, well. You know, one other thing I want to point out here, especially since there aren't any hands up for the microphone. Look, let me tell you what the Democrats have managed to succeed in. They've managed to succeed in causing us to lose at least one war since World War II, if you want to look at it that way. And I'm misstating it. I don't really consider it a loss of a war. I consider it a loss of PR back on the home front. Speaking specifically to Vietnam, I mean, our fucking men were just tearing the shit up. And we pretty much had the fucking North Vietnamese army on the ropes. But, you know, the PR over here in the States just got too shitty, so no one, so we pulled out when we just about had that shit won. And then there's the whole North Korea thing. But what Democrats have also managed to succeed in, Democrat presidents, is they've succeeded in proliferating terrorism across the world over the decades. And the highest rate of proliferation in recent history happened to be under Carter. But nobody, especially the Democrats, will ever fucking acknowledge that. Oh well. Oh, wait. Not just fucking Carter. Not just Carter. Man, it upticked severely during Clinton. And even more so. Well, I wouldn't say even more so, but it also began to proliferate under Obama. We saw that with ISIS. But for some reason, for the most part, terrorists are basically constrained when a Republican is in the office. I don't fucking get it. All Democrats, please tell your presidents to have balls before they go into office. Go ahead, Moses. Sorry for the long time.
Just something I'm reading, but before I want to just put JB says capitalism is not responsible for raising people out of poverty, and I want to ask JB, and I say it by chuckling in my voice because I know what he'll say. I'll say, what did raise people out? Unions, and that's what I think is the answer. Anyway, here's something that looks pretty serious. Declassified congressional report. James Clapper did lie about dossier leaks to CNN.
Oh, here we go.
And the House Intel Committee, of course, they've released their report, highly redacted.
So, I mean, just to kind of cut into this somewhat important material that Moses is giving into the room. JB Man, you can look in the text. He is one of our most socialistic left-wing wackos that comes into the room regularly. But, yeah. Very rare will you find something that you can agree with him on. Very rare. Look at this shit. Capitalism is not responsible for most of the innovations and certainly not responsible for increasing the standard of living for the vast majority in this country. That would be unions. That might have been true at one time. At one time, unions had a big hand in increasing the standard of living in the vast majority. But guess what happened? Large corporations who did not want to have to answer to unions decided to, be competitive with the unions as far as benefits and pay. So, I mean, hell, Henry Ford is probably one of the most prolific examples of a corporation saying, you know what I'm going to do to keep my folks from going fucking union? I'm going to compete with the fucking union as far as what they get out of their contracts. I'm going to go ahead and tell my people, look, here's your hourly pay rate. Here are your added benefits. You don't have to fucking join a union. I might have to go in there and make the argument that, capitalism still worked. I'm actually going to do that.
I mean, there seems to be some people mentioning Brennan and Clapper in regards to some of this stuff.
And then I'm going to cut the screen because I do want to go check out Relations.
Oh, excuse me. That those cocksuckers were behind it. Go ahead, Mom.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Here's the unemployment rates in 2017 by educational attainment. Less than a high school diploma, 6.5% unemployment. High school diploma, 4.6% unemployment.
They're actually not live.
Some college, no degree, 4% unemployment. Associate's degree, 3.4% unemployment. Bachelor's degree, 2.5% unemployment. Master's degree, 2.2% unemployment. How many people do you know with a master's degree that are in a union? Okay, here you go. Doctoral degree, doctoral degree, 1.5% unemployment. How many people do you know with doctoral degrees that are in a union? I think I've made my point. Next on Mike.
If you want to succeed, don't be in a union.
Well, here's the interesting thing. The thing that JB said about capitalism is not responsible for most of the innovations, and certainly not responsible for increasing the standard of living for the majority, for the vast majority in this country. He says that would be unions. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I will pull one example, just one example, because that's all I'm allowed time for. Henry Ford. Henry Ford, to keep unions out of his fucking factories, decided to compete with the unions instead. You know, compete with what unions were getting on their contracts. So what did he do to do that? He increased pay for his workers and gave them added benefits for their labor. Yeah, kept the unions out because he didn't want a fucking union telling him what to do. So to say that capitalism is not responsible, as in you're saying, you put emphasis on the word not, JB, twice, you're full of shit. Union had its place in certain industries, you know, in certain areas, but it's become a failure. It is a ghost of itself. It's just a fucking phantom floating around American businesses trying to dupe people into paying them fucking dues to also send that money to people, to campaigns that their workers don't fucking support. Don't even fucking try to tell me that the unions don't do that. There is too much fucking evidence to prove otherwise. So yeah, this idea that capitalism had nothing to do with innovation and increasing standard of living for the vast majority in this country is a fucking lie, if not plain old ignorance. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a little over 6% of the private sector is unionized in the states, and I don't think the other 94% is living off of what the 6% is providing. So we'll leave it at that. By the way, somebody mentioned Ford. Anybody notice the damn big change at Ford? And nobody mentioned it. They're only going to make 2 cars. Everything else will be trucks and SUVs and crossovers, but only 2 cars will be produced by Ford. Neither one of them are being a large car. Even the Taurus is too big for them. They're getting, why? Because they don't make as much money off the damn cars. So that's capitalism at its best, isn't it? Mike's free.
Well, I was looking at a list yesterday of the 10 worst lemons being produced, I bet, and 3 of them were Ford's cars. But you know, I just was laughing. Underdog's telling people to go back to Mexico and Korea and stuff. Could you imagine a movie? Underdog goes back to Africa. You know, with somebody like Richard Pryor. You know, I know Richard's gone, but a guy like Richard Pryor playing Underdog when he went back to Africa. Yeah. Now, stand by for hate from JB because he's going to lie.
Actually, I was going to repeat what Pooh said. Pooh said that the only reason that Ford raised
Did I say the only reason? I'm interrupting you now because you lied in the text. Did I say that was the only reason?
Yes, you did.
No, I don't think I did.
The only reason
I don't think I said the only reason.
Pooh, you said the only reason that Ford did that was.
Did I say? Hey, chat room. Did I say the only reason?
That's what you said. You specifically
okay, play
said
back
that
the tape.
Ford raised wages. Wait
play
a
back
minute,
the tape,
Pooh,
JB.
You said specifically. Wait a minute. You said specifically that Ford raised wages to keep the unions out. That's what you said. Now,
Yeah.
going by what you said that Ford raised wages to keep the unions out. So you just made my point for me that the only
no, I
reason
didn't, because
that he
JB,
would have
here's
done
the
that
thing. Here's the
was
thing. You're
because of
lying.
the
I didn't make your
existence of
point for you,
unions.
JB.
He would never have done that. So unions were
No,
in it
I didn't
even to
say he
keep
would never have
them
done
out.
that. Why are you
You
putting
made
words in my
point for
mouth?
me, even to keep them
JB,
out.
you're
Ford
lying
raised-
by putting
companies
words in my
raised
mouth,
wages.
and I won't let it
My
stand.
point is, the
Your
companies
point is
raised
not.
wages to
Your
keep
point
the
is
unions
invalid.
out because of the existence of unions.
Nope.
So either way, even if
You
they're not
don't know
union,
that he would
the
not have
unions
wound
are
up
still
doing that anyway, you dumb
responsible for the higher
motherfucker.
wages and the higher benefits. It's because of the unions.
You
that we
don't
have
know
the higher
that he
standard of
would
living,
not have
the
done
higher
that
wages, and
anyway
so forth.
without the unions.
You said that, Pooh. I'm
I
going
know
by
what
your
the fuck
words.
I
You
said, JB.
that Ford-
JB, let
you
me
said
answer
Ford
this.
raised its wages
I
because
said
to
it
keep
was
the
a
unions out.
reason, not
That's
the
what
reason.
You said. Oh, you lied.
JB,
You said that
then
was,
play back the
you
tape,
said that.
motherfucker. Play
So now
back the
you're-
fucking
now you're
tape.
gonna backstep? Now you
Play
said he
back
didn't
the
do that?
play back the
You
fucking
can't
tape.
have it both ways.
I'll tell you what.
Did
I'll
he-
play back the
Did he raise
fucking
the
tape.
wages to keep the unions
I will
out
play
or
back
not?
the fucking
Did
tape
he or
then.
did he not? You
Yeah.
said
You
can't have it
JB,
both
you
ways.
asked a question in
Either
the
he
text and I'm
did
trying to
or he
answer, but
didn't,
you won't
Pooh.
shut up long enough for me to fucking answer it. You asked, do I know whether or not Ford would have done that if it weren't for the union? And I answered you twice. No, I don't know that, and neither do you.
Pooh, you just said you did.
You
No, Pooh,
just
can't have it
said,
both
JB,
ways.
there's your answer.
Pooh, you
That was
can't
your
have it both
answer.
ways.
You don't know
You
whether or
said-
not
you
Ford would have
said,
done that.
Pooh, either he did or he didn't. Either he raised just to keep the unions out or he didn't, Pooh. According to you,
Yeah,
you
no,
said
you
they
are
raised wages
whatever.
to keep them
Is
out. That's
IB
what
up?
you said.
Let me go back and play the fucking tape.
I don't know. Is that?
Oh, here we go.
And the House Intel Committee
Benefits. Responsible for increasing the standard of living for the majority, for the vast majority in this country. In certain industries, evidence to prove otherwise. So yeah, this idea that capitalism had nothing to do with innovation and increasing standard of living for the vast majority in this country is a fucking lie, if not plain old ignorance. Go ahead.
Degree 3.4% unemployment.
If you want to succeed, don't be in a union.
Well, here's the interesting thing. The thing that JB said about capitalism is not responsible for the for most of the
Yeah, I'm going
innovations,
back
and
over the
certainly
tape.
not responsible for increasing the standard of living for the majority, for the vast majority in this country. He says that would be unions. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I will pull one example, just one example, because that's all I'm allowed time for. Henry Ford. Henry Ford, to keep unions out of his fucking factories, decided to compete with the unions instead. You know, compete with what unions were getting on their contracts. So what did he do to do that? He increased pay for.
What do you know with a master's degree that are
Okay,
in
so
the
I
union?
didn't say it was the only reason.
Okay, here you go. Doctoral degree. Doctoral degree, 1.5% unemployment.
Hand up
How
and
many
run.
people do you know with doctoral degrees that are in the union?
The cake.
I think I made my
I'm
point.
considered very
Thanks so much.
politically informed. At least I thought so. Over.
Who took exception to my use of the word only, but he made the statement that Ford raised wages to keep the unions out. I said only. Okay, he takes exception to that. Maybe he said only, maybe he didn't, but he did say that. What he was trying to
No,
convey to me.
I definitely
and
didn't
Pooh,
say only.
what
I'll
you
play
tried to
back the
convey
fucking
to
tape for you
everybody-
right now.
Wait a minute. Pooh, what you tried to convey to everybody in this room was that the reason that Ford raised wages was to
Who
keep the
is
unions
who
out.
arguing
That's what
with?
you said.
Who was he? Who was he talking to?
That's what he said. Now, my point is
You know,
that
JB,
I believe that. I
Here's
do
a
believe,
crazy
and I do
idea,
believe that
JB. Why
any
don't you get the
company-
fuck off the mic and I'll replay the tape to what I exactly said.
Who's on first?
And I believe that the reason that so that means that unions are still responsible, even inadvertently, if companies are raising wages just to keep them out. Unions are still responsible for the higher wages and
no,
the
they're
higher
fucking not.
living.
You cannot say that because
Obviously,
you do not have fact that
if,
that's why they did it.
If companies are doing it just to keep
yeah,
them out, yes,
okay, yeah, but your insistence that fucking capitalism had nothing to do with the higher standard of living. Are you actually trying to convince the world?
Mexico is a prime
that is a
example of
fucking
that.
lie.
Mexico is a
that
prime
is a
example
fucking
of that.
lie. You are trying
Mexico
to fucking convince people in this fucking chat room
strategy.
that capitalism had absolutely nothing to do with innovation or a higher standard of living. That is a socialist fucking talking point.
It is a primary example of capitalism. It has hardly any EPA regulations. It has extremely low minimum wage.
Are we fucking living in Mexico? Are we fucking living in Mexico? Are we living in fucking Mexico? Jesus, JB, you're putting words in my mouth again. Why do you insist on putting words into people's mouths that you're arguing with? I am not the fucking Republican Party, you dumb shit. Talk to me. Don't fucking presume the conclusion of my thoughts. That's what makes you a liar.
You agree with the people
that when did I say I agree with it? When did I say I agree with it at JB? When did I say I agree with any of that shit? Oh, that's right, I didn't. Yeah, presume the conclusion, JB. That's what makes
you're
you
anti-union.
Shut the fuck up.
Are you saying you're not anti-union?
Shut
Pooh,
the
are you anti-union
fuck
or not?
up.
You shut
the fuck
that's
up.
Real mature. Pooh, are you anti-union or not?
It doesn't matter.
Are you anti-union?
It's irrelevant to the argument.
Yes, it does.
It's irrelevant to the argument,
no,
JB.
Because your point
because
was
the argument is, JB, is that you see. Oh, fuck this. No, fuck it. Go ahead. You take the mic. You say whatever the fuck you want and keep lying about people.
I'm trying to, and you're the one.
Just keep
me.
lying about the other
place.
chatters, JB. That's
I'm
what
not
fucking
lying.
makes you such a goddamn genius.
Who I'm just reiterating what you said in the first place.
Yeah. And you seem to think that you seem to be under the delusion that capitalism has not benefited anybody, has never made any kind of innovation, or has never raised the cost of living.
A small minority at the expense of everybody else. That's
That's what it comes back to. These socialist fucking talking points.
All right.
It's always the socialist talking points, isn't it?
IB's been waiting patiently. Go ahead, IB.
This bitch would only be able to hair pull.
Bitch? Oh, I got your bit, boy.
Yeah, I bet you do. But I wouldn't
Bill
fuck
Cosby.
your mom for anything.
Free Bill Cosby.
Oh, talking about my family. I thought that was
are you gentlemen finished? Let's males talk for a minute. This is silly shit. By the way, wages are going up in our area down here, and we don't have unions, but they're going up because we have low unemployment and available, and they have to raise the damn wages because of the workforce. In other words, to gain the workforce, when you have low unemployment, you have to raise the wages. You have to compete with other areas of the economy. It doesn't have a damn thing to do with unions. Take the unions and stick them up your ass. As far as I'm concerned, they accomplish nothing, especially in the public service unions, which is a damn joke from day one. Mike's Frey.
Since their inception, unions they're spawned right out of the Communist Party. If you need a union to get ahead, or if you need a union boss to speak for you, you just suck. You're a fucking loser. Case closed.
And not to mention that we have a long and varicolored positive history of corporations beginning to compete with one another for their employees. This fucking idea that the only way to get it,
if you want to be successful, you certainly don't join a union.
Right with you, Baum. I agree with that notion. The unions have their place. The public sector is definitely not one of them.
No, they don't have their place.
I think in certain instances they do have their place, but but largely the unions have become fucking worthless. Look, I'll be honest with you. I've been a part of a fucking union, and it was a worthless union. When I needed their asses, they were nowhere to be found. My fucking union rep didn't do shit. Now, that's just an anecdotal story and is not necessarily proof unto itself that unions suck. But one reason you can tell, also anecdotal evidence that unions suck, is you got fucking JB man in here trying to fucking decry capitalism as though it's never done anything for anybody. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The vast majority.
One thing I'd like to say is that immigrants or illegal immigrants have everything to do with the wage scale. We don't need them.
All right. So here's this article. I'm going to post a link to it. It says, worker compensation rising at fastest pace since 2008. I'll go ahead and post the link. Say it again. This is another thing where you Trump haters can just fucking bite your cheeks off. All right, you may have, this is in Market Watch, you may have to Google for it, because sometimes when you post links they insert those little emoticon characters, but it's in Market Watch. Worker compensation rising at fastest pace since 2008. So you Trump haters, there's another thing to be pissed off about. Go ahead, Leo, your mic.
Thanks, Bob. You know, we used to be in a union back my university hospital days, and yeah, we had a union that didn't do shit for us, but we just voted them out and voted in the Teamsters, and then it was great because they actually fought for us. They got
that's rare, Leo. It's very difficult to decertify a union. That doesn't happen very often, so that's a rarity.
Well, you know, it was put up to a vote, and it got pretty dicey there.
Yeah, but to get the vote
admit.
to take place, is the unions fight to death against having a vote. That's a very rare occurrence to get a decertification vote. So good for you.
Yeah, or it might have been just timing. You know, I came along at the right time because that union had been there for quite a while, but it was actually called AFSCME. And yeah, they really wouldn't do shit.
What you're doing is you're taking away the union boss's condo in the Bahamas and his BMW and his Amex card for his fat wife. They fight to the death to not let that happen.
Yeah, well, anyway, it turned out for us. In fact, eventually it started getting to be where the union workers or Teamsters workers were actually making more than some of the supervisors. They were actually criticizing us for that. Well, too bad, you know. And they say, well, you would believe these excuses they would use. They go, well, it's not traditional. I go,
okay, so real quick update. The stream is running longer than I had intentionally or initially had planned to run it. That's because the live stream I was going to watch is starting an hour later.
They actually really did help me a lot, so. And I know I wouldn't have gotten the pay and benefits I did without that union there. So I'm very thankful for them, you know. And in fact, I've been in 3 unions, and they've all been positive experiences, really. So I'm only speaking for myself, but yeah, there are unions you can fall into that or be part of that won't. You know, they're not going to do much for you, you know, for whatever reason. But there are unions that are good too. So it just depends. Go ahead there, Human.
Yeah, real quick.
For sure, Rich.
Real quick, Human. Let me just say something. Okay, here's Bloomberg. U.S. adds jobs, wages rise by most since recession. I guess JB Man doesn't like Bloomberg either. JB Man won't agree with any. Will just dispute any publication that disagrees with him. Where are you getting your information, JB? And it's your mic, Human Evolution.
No, I just wanted to ask JB Man something, because I hear him say this like off and on. You know, it seems maybe it's just the wrong wording, but I mean, JB Man, are you like completely against capitalism? I mean, would you prefer to live like in a complete socialist society, or you just mean the form of capitalism that's practiced like in the United States or a certain part of the West? Or are you just like completely against like free market capitalism? I was just wondering.
He's probably more prone to take that Chinese hybrid of communism and capitalism where, you know, everybody can make money, but then you can't say a fucking thing against the government. You know, JB, I'll tell you what, you can even fucking move to England and get that shit. You know, whatever you do, don't fucking post a video of your little pug dog giving a Nazi salute. But yeah, this is why you fucking lose at chat, JB. Not that that's too bad of a thing, but this is why you fucking lose in debate. Because when you ask for a fucking source, somebody gives you a source, and then you go, "Oh, Market Watch, a very reliable, non-biased source." Oh, let me type in a few lines later. Oh, sarcasm. Yeah, we get the fucking sarcasm, dumb shit. We don't need you fucking typing it out. Yeah, you'll fucking debase the source and then not provide any of your own. You won't provide a counter argument. You'll just poo-poo whatever somebody else puts out there. This is why you're fucking moron. And it's fucking disgusting to see your fucking text in the fucking room every time you fucking come in here because you are a disingenuous son of a bitch. You motherfucker. I'll say fuck one more time. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Go ahead, Mop.
Hi, I want to apologize to the room for taking up the room's time here. Anyway, just because we have one sort of marginally retarded chatter. But let's see here. It says Bloomberg, U.S. adds 20,000 jobs. Wages rise by most since recession. Here's LA Times. Wages are finally starting to rise. Here's Money, CNN. America gets I'm sorry to the rest of the room, but we have one kind of slow chatter, JB man. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to reach out to JB man at a point where he is. America.
He doesn't want to reach out. He wants to reach around.
Raise. Let's see here. Oh, I can't. Darn it. There he is. You always have to just mutter little things when people are talking. They can't hear you, and then they can't hear the person that's talking either. Let's see. U.S. pay rolls rise strongly. Wage growth picking up. That's in Reuters, JB, man. Okay, let's go to the second page here. Blue-collar wages are surging. That's in economist.com. Wages will rise this year, National Review. USA Today, wages rise at 2.6% in 2017. Sorry, I apologize to the rest of the room, but JB man's a little bit slow. Let's see. Yeah, that ought to be enough. Okay. JB man, if that's not enough sources for you, I'll come to the mic and try to provide more sources. Next on mic is Liberal BS Filter.
Well, 5 million people have come off welfare in the last year. That's pretty amazing. And, you know, the House committee has come to a conclusion that there was no collusion between Trump and the Russians. Now, the Russians may have been trying to fuck with the election, but it didn't have anything to do with Trump. And so you put in a news article that just came out that they're talking, you know, they're wrapping it up, they're closing it up because there was no collusion. And what do the dumb cocksuckers in the room do? Yeah, but Reed, you know, says that's a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's the same fucking nonsense. You know, they listen to fake news, and it doesn't matter. These guys have been looking at this for months, and they have access to the information. Unlike you dumb cocksuckers in the room. And they said, you know what? It's just not there. It's not happening. And yet they still fucking believe it. Rachel Maddow will have to feed them some line of bullshit tonight, and they'll accept it. And you know, I don't think we should be hard on JB. I mean, JB is about as indoctrinated and brainwashed as they come. And he will never change an opinion on anything. He just has a script, and he just, you know, it's like embedded in his brain. And how many times have we heard this script? And there, speaking of people who run on a script, look at this. Clunk76 just came in the room. Probably one of the dumbest people on planet Earth. Go ahead, Human.
I don't know. I see JB ahead of me. Maybe it's just screwed up on my screen.
I guess I wasn't paying attention. I was typing. Sorry.
Okay, then I'll go after you.
Okay, I want to answer your question for you. I believe in balanced capitalism. Balanced with unions, right amount of regulations by the government, a democratically elected government like we have in this country, with a democratically elected premise. Okay,
well,
it is a republic.
Man, I just want to ask a quick question. What
Sure.
country would you say you would model? You would like to see?
What
is the best model?
Canada would be like. I would like to see us come closer to Canada. You know, we only have a border problem in the South. How come we don't have a border problem with Canada? How come we don't have this huge influx of Canadians trying to get into our country? Because the border problem is not a security problem.
Because the Canadian government takes all their fucking money that they can't move anywhere.
Bullshit. All of them can move down here. They're not interested.
No, that's not bullshit. That's the absolute truth. Don't you know? You know, we can prove anything without evidence, just like you do.
Yeah, just talk to Canadians. They'll tell you a different story. And visit Canada, which I highly recommend, and I've been there a few times. No, it's because they have a fair and balanced economy like Fox News. Okay, I don't know what that means, whatever. You know, I'd like to be able to speak here without being interrupted, just, you know, occasionally. That would be nice. Anyway, to answer your question, yes, capitalism. What conservatives want for our country, and by the way, you're right, Mop. I already conceded before, and I wrote it in text, that lower unemployment is going to result in higher wages. The problem with that is it's also going to increase demand and result in triggering higher prices. Now, how that's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be addressed, which I doubt. So higher wages is not going to do any good if people have to incur higher prices. That's not very helpful. Moses, you're next.
Well, by the time I get to mine, I'm always off topic. This kind of struck me. I guess it's going on. There's a cabal. You understand what a cabal is? Of wealthy donors financing $50 million Trump-Russia investigation. They forked out a $50 million to fund a Russian investigation being conducted by Christopher Steele, Fusion GPS, and former Senate staffer for Dianne Feinstein. I think this is kind of, I mean, these people, you put up that kind of, you must have an awful lot at stake here. At risk, it's being reported. What can I say? Should I just ignore it at risk? Is that your advice? Just ignore it? It's not true? Think how much we've been asked to ignore and then later found out it was true. Liberal.
Go ahead, Mom.
You ever notice people that can't debunk something on the basis of facts or logic? This is a uniquely PalTalk kind of a logical fallacy. They think that they're bringing something to the table intellectually if they label something a conspiracy theory. But labeling something a conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's wrong. History is replete with conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. So I just wonder about the education and the intellectual savvy of people who sit in PalTalk chat rooms and go, well, that's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory. And they think by labeling something a conspiracy theory, they've debunked it. Just calling something conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's not true. Where are your facts? Where's your logical argument? I think some people are hiding under the table now. I'm sorry, at risk. I don't know what you're attempting to communicate to me when you say MOP because it's being reported. I don't know what you're trying to communicate to me, at risk. Does somebody in the room know what at risk means when he says MOP? And then the criticism of that was, that's a conspiracy theory. Okay, it's a conspiracy theory. Does that mean it's wrong? That's my question. I mean, once we establish that it's a conspiracy theory, what more do we know now? Do we know it's wrong or not?
Do we know any more because of Moses' post? No. But
yeah, I learned something that I didn't already know. Moses puts a lot of news items in the room very succinctly, and I become aware of them. Thank you, Moses.
Shitting in the wind.
Jesus fucking Christ, Risk, are you going to make a fucking point?
Does anybody know what at risk is trying to communicate to the room? I don't.
I'm not convinced he knows what the fuck he's trying to convey in the room.
Donald Trump is president, and he's pissed off in a tizzy and furious, and his uterus is about to burst. That's what's going on with that risk.
Well, I was just gonna say to JB, man, yeah, that's fair enough, but it's confusing when you say when you put down capitalism in the sense it's sort of a contradiction because Canada, to a large extent, is a capitalist nation. I mean, there's many millionaires and several dozen
Canada
billionaires.
is a socialist shithole police state.
Well, no, it just has more socialism than the United States has. It's still a capitalist nation. It's still a free market economy. There's many millionaires and dozens of billionaires in Canada. It's just there. It's a spectrum, right? There's more socialist policies. It's funny though. I mean, I'm putting out debate here. When Donald Trump was asked when he thought the last time the United States was great was right after World War II, and was pretty much Truman was president and was pretty much FDR's economy, and that's when unions were on the rise. And that's when, all the parts and everything in the United States was made by American hands. So, in a sense, he's kind of indirectly supporting unions by saying that. Anyway, next on the mic.
So, CNBC is reporting that 800,000 people are about to flee California and New York. And my first thought was, does anybody want those fuckers moving to their state? But then I thought, they might have money. They might be the money people that want to get away from these cocksuckers. So I don't know, but what I know is that they're coming here to Nevada, and they're running their low renters out. And I don't like that.
People in California because they can't afford it, you idiot.
Yeah, they can't afford it because of taxes and everything, government regulation, idiot. Anyways, the second thing was I wanted to ask at risk, will there be a time when you decide to become a good moral man like Ted Cruz and support the president? Ted Cruz supports the president 100%. And
I never supported Ted Cruz. Why don't you understand that?
It's amazing what that other people can mutter on the mic while somebody else is talking. Seems to be one person in particular that seems to have a problem being able to keep his concentration.
Matter of degree. Some people do it a little bit, and some people do it. What the admins home in on, that people ask those kinds of questions a lot. Who flung? What winds up happening is we have people that do things consistently and a lot, and the admins finally get fed up and start dotting. And then they go, well, this other person did it. Well, somebody might do it just a little bit, and they're not going to get dotted. I hope that answers your question, Who flung?
Did I say anything about a fucking admin? Dumb shit? Did I say anything about a fucking admin? Jesus Christ, Mop, you are one self-centered motherfucker.
At risk. Oh, I forgot. You wanted Jeb Bush, didn't you? That's right. The most mediocre guy around. That's what you wanted.
Even his own mom said he shouldn't run. Anyway, you know, I tell you, it almost brought a tear to my eye. Maybe it did even. I wouldn't admit it, but just seeing that picture of Moon and Kim shaking hands with that caption, "No more war." I mean, that was great, you know. So thank you, Kim. Thank you, Moon, and thank you, President Trump, for that moment.
I didn't really get an answer. Does anybody want New York and Californians moving to their state? Seriously?
You know, people from California and Illinois are like Muslims, if you think about it. They pack up, they move to another state to leave the hellhole that they're from, and then they start doing the same thing there. It's like, what the fuck? You left that area to get away from the fucking stupidity, and you're gonna bring stupidity with you. Stay home.
There has to be still nice places to live in California. I mean, there's got to be a reason a lot of people are still staying there, you know. But for a state with problems, you really can't come up with any state with bigger problems than California, from what I can see. But I still have to be an optimist. I can't believe that those problems are unsolvable. I mean, I think some way, somehow they can get over them, but got to have the will, right? You got to have the leadership. So, but for some reason, I don't know why it is. What wasn't it, you Sovereign, who's saying they're all going over to Tennessee or something? California. Some reason they're going to Tennessee.
Californians are moving to Nevada and they're moving to Arizona, and some are going up to Washington State. Illinois
Georgia's
people
actually
are moving.
one of the biggest states.
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I guess you got to go somewhere. So if you're determined to leave.
Yeah, but they're taking their leftism with them. They're not thinking what were the mistakes of the past. Don't repeat them here. They're just making the same mistake.
This is the guy who is complaining about people from Illinois leaving their state and moving to one of these red states.
Dot, where's the
just
dot?
like Muslims.
Okay,
I'm moving to a red state to be red.
Is my hand show on the screen, or the mic, or anything representing me?
You're gonna do a hand show?
No, I thought I had the mic a minute ago, and at risk had a couple things to say, and I waited, and then I wasn't sure. I just want to add a little bit. I waited in line. I would say they are welcome, but just don't bring New York or California with you. I remember a sign years ago in going into Washington State, and it said, "Don't fornicate us." And I think people are people. I don't think they bring their leftists. If that's what they're getting away from, I just can't imagine they bring it with them, like the Mexicans do with La Raza and stuff. Now, if they get organized or something, and I don't know. But no, that was a real sign, Lib. Don't Californicate us. Liberal, BS, your mic.
Yeah, well, I'm from Washington, and I saw them do the same damn thing up there. You know, Whidbey Island, where I'm from up there, is a little bit of paradise. And these fuckers would come from California, and you know what they wanted to do? The first thing they wanted to do is change the zoning laws, you know, like shut the ferry down, have it come over there half the amount of time. You know, they wanted to close the gate behind them. You know, we came here, now we're in charge, and nobody else can come here. That's exactly what they were doing. And look, you want to see the same type of thing, look at Southern California. Go down there, drive around. It's fucking Mexico. That's what Mexicans are doing to Southern Cal. They're turning it into Mexico. Now, isn't that fucking great? Isn't one Mexico enough? Fuck that. You got to stop this shit. One way or the other. You can't, you know what? You fucked up, stay where you are.
Look, as being in one of the states where a lot of Californians are coming to, I mean, for fuck's sake, they picked up Toyota and moved it over here.
Can I mutter in the middle of what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Why don't you go fucking red dot yourself now, asshole? Anyway, as one of the states that's dealing with that, my only concern is, the stupid left-wing thought that they're going to be bringing with them here. We're trying really hard to keep this state fucking red. And, hi, JB. Hi, JB. Are you texting me in the chat because you need some attention? You fucking liar. Anyway, so that's just the thing I'm concerned about is, this stupid bullshit attitudes like what fucking JB has. JB, keep your fucking attitude wherever it is. Don't fucking bring that shit to Texas. You wouldn't like it here. We like freedom too much. We actually like people to be able to say what the fuck they need. Or, I'm sorry, to be able to say what the fuck they want. Yeah, you like Canada. Go fucking live there. Go fucking live there so then you can't say whatever the fuck you want. Oh, the mic's ready for you now, Mop. Shall I introduce you?
Are you guys fight? Thank you. Yeah, we don't need a wise intercessor, Sovereign, but thank you. Thank you, too. Okay, so unemployment is 2.6% in North Dakota, and housing prices are really low there, JB. What is it about these crazy red states? They actually have low unemployment and low housing prices. What is it about these crazy red states, JB? Nebraska, 2.8%. I know somebody in Nebraska who bought a house. She bought a house in Fairbury, Nebraska. She paid $15,000 for it, and it's livable. $15,000 for a house, JB, man. And unemployment in Nebraska is 3%. No, 2.8%, JB. I don't understand what you're complaining about, JB, man. There's plenty of crazy red states that have low unemployment and low housing cost. Here's Utah. There's all kinds of parts of Utah where they have low housing costs. Unemployment, 3.1%. But here's the funny thing. Here's what I noticed. When I said wages were rising to JB, man, the first thing he said is, no, that's not true. I don't believe Business Watch. And then when I gave him sources, when I gave JB Man sources from CNN, and I gave JB Man sources from Bloomberg, and I gave JB Man sources from Forbes, then JB Man, instead of saying, oh, it's not true, then he said, well, it's still under the Obama economy. So either it's not true or it's under the Obama economy. The possibility doesn't exist for JB, man, that the economy is just improving under Trump. And here's the truth. In the last year of Obama, unemployment didn't go down at all. Unemployment under Obama in his final year did not go down at all. So I don't understand how JB Man can make the claim that there's some kind of a trend that Trump was following from Obama. If unemployment, do you know what a derivative is, JB Man? Do you know what a slope of a line is? That's the if you take algebra, they say rise over run. That's the increase or decrease in unemployment over time. The slope of unemployment under Obama in his last year was 0. So how are you saying that Trump was continuing that trend if the slope went from 0 to a negative slope under Trump? Explain that mathematics to us. JB, man, because I can't figure it out. Next on Mike.
Well, first, what I said, my response when you cited your source was, oh, well, that source, yeah, that's a reliable source. And I said it sarcastically. I never said that what you were saying wasn't true or that I didn't believe the source. All I said was that I just don't know the source is reliable. But I did not come out and say, oh, okay, well, what you're saying is not true. No, I believe that wages are going up. And I already conceded that before you even said that in a previous session in this room, when you made the statement, you told me, well, lower unemployment is going to increase the competition for people, or excuse me, lower the competition for people wanting jobs, and therefore it's going to increase wages. And I agree with you, and that's absolutely correct. And I already conceded that point before. Here's the other problem that nobody's addressing. Of course, what's going to happen is that wages are going to go up, and of course, what's going to happen because of that, we're going to have an increase in demand, and prices are going to rise. Now, what's going to address that remains to be seen. But here's the last point that I want to address. When you said, oh fuck me, now I can't remember. I'll think of it. Damn it, I got to see.
Well, maybe you should slow down a little bit, JB, man. You talk so fast, you ran out of words.
I probably did.
Well,
go ahead.
you can come back after I'm done. But I just wanted to just point out certain fundamental axioms of them. First being that when you do things that affect the market artificially, such as raise the minimum wage, you essentially eliminate jobs that are worth the current minimum wage. But this is not well understood by the left. They continue to push a higher and higher minimum wage. And when they implemented that hike in minimum wage in Seattle, a lot of people ended up with no jobs. They lost their jobs because realistically, serving coffee as a barista is not worth $15 an hour. It simply isn't. You can get somebody to do it for less. Or the barista that's there and getting paid $15 an hour would be willing to do more of it for that price. And you can expect more from people. A while back in New York, they gave a test to people on the left, people on the right, about economics, basic economics. Like, does rent control decrease the available market for apartments? Right? And the left said no. In fact, which is crazy to think, right? Does rent control lower the availability of apartments? And they kept saying, no, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. Well, they all failed that particular economics portion of that test that was given. All of them. It seems that idealism is bigger in the mind of a leftist than actual.
Okay, guys. None of you listening. Okay, I just forgot that I was doing a live stream on this, and I'm going to go ahead and stop that now. Anyway, let's see. How long has it been running? Oh, shit, hour and a half. Yeah, definitely stopping it. Anyway, I just thought I'd have some fun with this. I've been meaning to stream that chat room anyway, and just to give people an idea what that fucking place looks like. And anyway, if you happen to stop by and check it out, thank you so much for doing so. This is Who Flung Poo. This was an unofficial Poo-Tang live stream, as I type that into the description field. Let's see. Unofficial Poo-Tang live stream. Or unscheduled, rather. There. Oop, pardon me. Gosh, man, I did that yesterday in the videos I was doing. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Y'all have a good one, and may the poo be with you.